think that what the youth are doing is very important. At this time, I applaud them. I think that in the future, I think that they bring the change that we need from a cultural standpoint, and from just from an entire race of people and human mankind. I think that they're going to be the ones to change a lot. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of the tactics that we use or tried to use, which definitely sparked the idea, but they made it clear that they prepared to flip it over, tear it up, or do whatever need to be done to get the results they need. And I think at this point, as somebody that I don't condone like anybody tearing down their own neighborhood or whatever. But as far as in terms of like dismantling, whatever systems need to be dismantled and restructured, so be it. I mean, I feel it's no secret that white supremacists infiltrated law enforcement long ago. Even policing came from as a method of slavery that existed at one point. So and knowing that and understanding that, we have there's been a lot of officers that are stepping down, lieutenants, chiefs, and what have you. And I think that as we continue to dig into the research and the tweets and the Facebooks and the background of some of these people who are in position of power, not only in law enforcement but across the gamut, that's how you really break the system. You know what I mean? And also following the money as well, and following the paper trail. And using that search engine to the best of your to the best of your ability. You'd be surprised at things you find on these different individuals. The companies as well, and who they support, major corporations, and just things of this nature. So, I think we definitely in a state of, in this country in particular, where we have to let the chips fall where they may. You have to trust the process, and it's not, the process of like fighting white supremacy at the end of the day, because that's what we're fighting. Whether we are, people of black and brown descent, or Asian, Latino, or what have you. You know what I mean? And we have to be cognizant of the distractions that they create. You know what I mean? And trying to create disharmony between us. You know what I'm saying? Latino brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Just. If you got confusion and disarray, you know what I mean? Like, then there's no unity, you know what I mean? And then you have division, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's my saying, man, these days it's kind of like, what a time to be alive, what a time to be in love, you know what I mean? I'm finishing up an EP project with some of my favorite producers, colleagues, and it's a project featuring myself that's fully produced by them, and it's going to be called "What a Time to Be in Love," and it's kind of like speaks to, there's one song in particular called "Marvin Used to Say." It speaks to what's going on. Real dope poet friend of mine, Rob Brown from the DC area, is also on the project. So I think it'll kind of like, the project can kind of like bring the perspective of where we are, in real time. And, through it all, we still have to have that love for our people, for our babies, for our better half. You know what I mean? As well, our partners. So it's just an interesting time, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to the things that we heard about, or you hear about in the scripture, or just, we hear, records like the Marvin Gaye records from the 70s, Bob Marley, or the old speeches, by, Black Panthers, or, Martin and Malcolm, and just to kind of see where we are right now as a race of people, and as mankind, versus 30 years ago, and, how much progress we've made, but how much we haven't at the same time. it's real interesting, you know. So 2020 is a tipping point not only for America but for the planet, you know. And I think that what we're also witnessing firsthand is that America overnight becoming somewhat of a third world country. You know what I mean? That's what we really, it's like the unmasking of this country and the karma of the country, you know. I don't feel that we will be as much of a casualty to the karma, you know, for those, because I mean, we didn't ask to be here in the first place, right? But I think that for quote unquote like white liberal America, like it's definitely like the karma is like here firsthand. You know what I mean? Where the unemployment is not going to only affect us as, you know, people of black and brown color, you know, that represent the 40% of the unemployment. So, you know, I think that it's going to, you know, it's affecting everybody across the gamut. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, even COVID-19, you know what I mean? I don't know how honest or dishonest they've been with the numbers or what have you, but I think just like everything else that's been pushed in the inner cities, you know, on the minorities, the crack, the heroin, you know, the opioids, you know, it's cool till we get out to the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? And then it's an epidemic, you know, it's an epidemic proportions. You know what I mean? So I think that we're going to see the same thing, unfortunately, with COVID-19, because it seems that it's a lot of those individuals, you know, at the quote unquote Trump rallies and what have you, you know, they're not you know, wearing masks or, you know, having any regard for, yet alone their own health or someone else. So it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing unfolds, you know, as we move forward in the weeks and months, and, you know, it's the weeks and months to come. I have a foundation. It's called the Love Life Foundation. For more information on what we do, you can log on to lovelifefoundationdmv.org. We do a number of initiatives. The Textbook Scholarship Fund, giving scholarships away to students for their first year of college, helping them pay for their books and supplies. Do a lot of feeding the homeless and those that are displaced. You know, we're going to be supporting some food banks very soon. We also have been feeding during COVID-19, feeding all our essential workers and first responders, as well as the nurses and the night shift at the different hospitals with home cooked meals. You know, shout out to all my fans who tip and stuff of that nature and donate, you know, when I'm doing my online activities. You know, without them, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I appreciate them on that. And we also advocate to fight domestic violence and bring more attention to support of women that are going through domestic violence, that experience domestic violence, sex trafficking, all these different things. Like I'm you know, zero tolerance in support of all efforts to stop those issues as well. So again, for anybody that's looking to partner up and support the foundation, again, it's Love Life Foundation, DMV.org. And you can follow this foundation on Instagram and Twitter as well at Love Life DMV. Once again, that's at Love Life DMV on Instagram and Twitter. And you can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well at Raheem_DeVaughn. Again, that's Raheem_DeVaughn.